Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking beyond just the fight result. We're digging into the mind of a new UFC champion.
Yeah, based on this really extensive interview he gave, it's incredibly revealing. Goes way past the usual post-fight chat.
Right. It gets into his whole philosophy, how he sees himself, how he deals with, well, everything that comes with being champion.
Exactly. It's provocative stuff. Touches on identity, fame, loyalty, even mortality.
Yeah.
Very candid.
So our goal here is to pull out those really charged moments, the insights that show how he keeps that mental edge, and how he navigates all the controversy swirling around him.
Yeah, trying to understand what keeps him from getting that star sickness he talks about, that ego trap.
Okay, so let's start there. His reaction to actually winning the belt, it wasn't like a huge shock to him.
No, not according to him. He said he'd always expected. So the win itself, it wasn't this big surprise, more like confirmation.
Confirmation of what he already felt inside. That's some serious self-belief.
Definitely. But then you look at his family's reaction, and that's where you see the sheer emotional weight of it all.
Yeah, the interview painted a really vivid picture there. The contrast was quite something.
It really was. His father, very traditional Chechen pride, just a reserved congratulations, acknowledged it but kept it measured.
Okay.
But his mother, totally different story. He said when she called, she was just overwhelmed, crying, couldn't really speak, a mix of joy and, well, probably worry too.
Wow. That really grounds the whole thing, doesn't it? Connects this global achievement right back to family.
Absolutely. Makes him seem very human, very relatable in that moment.
But then he snaps right back to this, incredibly disciplined mindset for handling the success itself. I mean, how do you stop your ego inflating when you suddenly have the belt, the fame, the money?
Well, his main strategy is pretty unconventional, I'd say. He actively uses the awareness of death, mortality. That's his shield against star sickness.
Okay, wait. Awareness of death? How does that work, practically speaking?
He described his actual thought process. He said he looks at the fame, the money, even the championship title, and consciously tells himself, that slab of stone will be all.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he followed up with, champion, I am not a champion. Earned, I have not earned. I will die anyway.
So it's like nothing truly matters in the face of that finality. It puts everything in perspective, the ultimate ego check.
Precisely. It stops the temporary stuff like fame from feeling too important.
Yeah.
And it directly influences what he does value.
Which seems to be helping others.
Yeah.
Using the success for good.
Exactly. It connects straight to philanthropy. He mentioned building gyms, helping young fighters, improving infrastructure back home. The money isn't just for him.
He said his mother taught him that, right? The religious angle.
Yeah, the teaching about giving. If you have a ruble, give halfway, because goodness comes back tenfold. He seems to genuinely believe it.
And he sees it as a literal return, not just spiritual.
Apparently so. He mentioned getting back double what he gave away pretty quickly after sharing his earnings. He treats it like, well, almost like an investment, both spiritually and practically.
Oh, he gives away half his earnings.
Right.
To help young fighters. That's significant.
Yeah, it covers training camps, buys cars, pays salaries. He sees the championship less as a personal prize and more as like a tool to uplift his community. That's the real legacy for him.
Okay, so this very disciplined, almost spiritual approach, it's impressive.
Yeah.
But he's still a fighter. He still operates in a world of intense rivalry and, frankly, trash talk.
Yeah.
How does that side fit in?
Well, that's where you see the sharper edges, for sure.
Yeah.
He doesn't take criticism lightly, especially from peers or respected figures.
Like analysts questioning his skills. I remember reading about that.
Yeah, he specifically mentioned guys like Daniel Cormier, Gilbert Burns, fighters he respects, but who maybe said his wrestling was too basic, like just a too-late takedown.
And his reaction wasn't exactly humble acceptance.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He went on social media, pretty provocative post, telling people not to listen to these monkeys, referring to his critics.
Oof. Monkeys. That's strong.
It is. It makes you wonder, right? Is it calculated hype, playing the game? Or is it genuine frustration that legends of the sport might not actually be good analysts? He kind of suggested that not all great fighters are smart enough to break things down properly.
That's a bold claim, challenging the whole hierarchy.
Definitely bold.
Yeah.
But when it comes to personal insults, especially about his identity, things escalate way beyond social media posts.
You're talking about the Sean Strickland incident?
Yeah, that story is, well, it's something else. Really highlights the different worlds these guys can come from mentally.
So refresh us. It started with an insult in a group chat.
Pretty much. Jemayev called Strickland an American chicken after Strickland apparently made some comment about Chechen fighters. It seems minor, right?
Relatively, yeah. In the
Yeah.
world of fighter trash talk.
But the reaction. Strickland showed up to the gym the next day carrying a gun.
A gun. In the gym.
Uh-huh.
Because of a group chat insult.
Exactly. Strickland genuinely feared Chimaev would physically attack him over it, feared it enough to bring a weapon to training. It's an incredible escalation.
It just shows how seriously Chimaev takes insults related to his identity, his people, and how differently others might perceive the threat level.
Totally. A massive clash of mentalities and cultural context right there in the gym.
Yet, despite that intensity outside the cage, inside the cage, he seems almost relaxed at times.
That's another fascinating contrast. Like in the Dricus Duplessis fight, he was apparently talking, even joking during the fight.
Joking with Duplessis here and his corner.
Yeah, admits it himself. So when they were on the ground, he was chatting with Duplessis' corner, and then there was that little slap, the shell peck, near the end.
Right, the playful slap.
He said it wasn't disrespect, more just. He felt so comfortable, so in control, he could afford to be a bit playful. He feels everything in the cage now, apparently. Allows him that space.
That level of flow state, being able to strategize and execute while also being that aware and relaxed, that's rare air.
It really is. Peak mental conditioning.
But his identity, it's not just a trigger for conflict with rivals. It's become a point of contention on a bigger scale, right? The whole, is he a Russian fighter debate.
Yeah, that's a really complex, politically charged one.
Oh.
And the spark, interestingly, came from another prominent Russian fighter, Petr Yan.
What did Jan say exactly?
Yan was quoted reacting to the controversy, saying something like, "How can you say that a Chechen is not Russian?" Which was interpreted as Yan basically stating he doesn't see Chimaev as a Russian fighter.
Okay, so Jan threw fuel on the fire there. How did Chimaev respond?
His response was really powerful because he completely shifted the terms of the debate. Didn't get bogged down in the semantics of nationality or paperwork.
How so?
He framed it as deeds versus words. He listed concrete things he's done. I built a gym in Russia, I made roads in Russia, I help young people in Russia, and then pointedly added, I didn't build a hall for anyone in the Emirates.
Ah, so basically saying, look where my actions are, look where I invest my life and resources. That defines my connection more than labels.
Exactly. He's arguing his contribution, his life lived there, his speaking the language. That makes him Russian in the context of Chechnya being part of Russia, regardless of what others say.
And he used that moment to call for unity too, didn't he?
Yeah, which was smart. He pivoted from that specific conflict to a broader message against division, whether it's based on nationality or religion.
Pointing to his friendship with Arman Sarukian, an Armenian Christian, as an example.
Right. Stressing that faith should unite people in goodness, not divide them. Especially now, he said, people need to stand together. It positions him as more of a unifier, trying to rise above the squabbles.
Okay, let's look forward then. Section 4, he's got the middleweight belt. What's next? Ambitions aren't stopping there, clearly.
No. His immediate target, stated very clearly, is the light heavyweight belt, 93 kilograms, currently held by Alex Pereira.
Going for champ status, why Pereira and why now?
Well, the main driver seems to be the platform it provides. He directly links a second belt to more hype, more sponsors, more money.
Which loops back to his main philosophy.
Exactly. More sponsors, more earning, more helping others. The second belt isn't just for glory, it's fuel for his charitable engine.
And stylistically, how does he see the Pereira matchup? Pereira's a terrifying striker.
He actually called Pereira a convenient opponent. Now that comes with a big caveat. If the fight doesn't stay standing, he's banking on his wrestling being the dominant factor.
Supreme confidence in his grappling advantage there.
Oh, absolutely. And that confidence, it seems rooted in just how hard he pushes himself in training. His unstoppable engine, as you called it.
He prepares for more rounds than scheduled.
Yeah, he mentioned always training for 5, even 6 rounds, even if the fight's only 3. That kind of preparation, going way beyond what's required, builds mental toughness.
Explains why he can seem so relaxed mid-fight. He knows he has gas in the tank, others don't.
Right. It removes a layer of doubt, frees up mental space.
And finally, this ties into his legacy planning, right? The mentor role. He's not just focused on his own career.
No, definitely not. He talked a lot about helping the next generation, like his training partner, Abubakar. It's not just financial support either.
Sharing lessons learned, mistakes made.
Yes. He wants them to learn from his journey, avoid his pitfalls, so they can achieve, in his words, 10 times what he has. He sees himself as a kind of living guide for them.
Defining his success by lifting others up. It's a consistent theme.
Very consistent.
So, wrapping this all up, the big takeaway from this deep dive, What stands out most about this champion's mindset?
I think it's that his most potent weapon isn't actually a specific fighting technique. It's um, this really intense spiritual and moral discipline he imposes on himself, using that awareness of mortality to navigate the chaos of fame and fighting.
Yeah, it allows him to use the platform for his idea of good rather than just getting consumed by it all. A fascinating blend of aggression and altruism.
Definitely unique.
Okay, before we go, one last thought for you, our listener, based on all this.
Yeah, something interesting he mentioned. He suggested that, given his tough background, he might not have become a fighter if he'd grown up wealthy. But then you look at someone like Arman Sarukian, his friend, who seemingly had a more comfortable upbringing, but still reached the elite level.
Right. So the question is, what does that tell us about that fighting spirit? Is it purely forged in necessity, or can that kind of iron will, that ambition, thrive even without hardship? Even if maybe the path feels different?
Something to chew on. Does wealth soften the drive or just change its texture?
A lot to think about regarding what shapes a champion's legacy beyond the wins and losses. That's all we have time for on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.